He sounds. It's not an act, folks. It's exactly what Scotty sounds like, man. I called him one day. He was watching basketball on the couch. Hey, Jay, what's going on? Can talk to you for a little while here while I'm watching the game. Like, all right. Two people that do not break character, man. He's one. The other is Colin Cowherd. True story. I'm at a Christmas party. 2011, I'm at a Christmas party. San Francisco at 95.7 the game. I'm working there. And a little story time to start the show. And middle of the party, it's like 7 o'clock at night. Look at my phone. It's Colin Cowherd. Like the caller ID tells me it's Colin Cowherd. Mind you, I haven't talked to him in probably 2 or 3 months. This is how Colin is. I pick up the phone. He immediately goes into a monologue like it's showtime, man. The red light's on, and he immediately goes into a monologue. I won't say what he was saying because he probably wouldn't want it heard publicly. But he literally went into like a 10-minute monologue, and then he was like, "So what's going on with you?" I'm like, is this really happening? Like, this is crazy. How weird. Wild stuff. So anyway, just thought, no, not a Johnny Carson reference. Just odd. So anyway, Jason Cole will join us on the show tomorrow night to preview the NFL draft. I have no idea who's going to be on tonight. I got a bunch of maybes. So as they come on, we'll put them on. I think Nick Ferguson's going to be on next hour to talk about the draft as well. I mean, it's hard to get NBA guys on because there's just a zillion games on. And yeah, there's games and games and games and games. So no, Ferguson tonight. I think Jason Cole tomorrow, because tomorrow's our last show of the week since we got no shows on Thursday and Friday. We'll leave it to the VEASAN guys at the draft to take you to Kansas City and because I'm not going to be there. You know, I explained this last night on the show. You know, I had a couple of people ask me, why aren't you going to be on the night of the NFL draft? Because I'm not there, and I don't have a team of like 17 people behind me. So I'm not going to sit here and do draft coverage as a team of one. There's just only so much I can do. You know, and that's with no disrespect to people like Brian who work on the show and help, engineer it and chime in and stuff like that. But I'm talking about shows that have like 6 people working on them are doing the draft. And you know what? That's good. I'm all about you getting the best coverage of the draft. And that may mean not having me on the air. I'm okay with that. So that's all copacetic with me. I have no problem with that at all. We were just I'll tell you, back-to-back nights. We have bared witness to 2 Herculean efforts by individual performers. Last night, what on earth is on my screen? That's weird. Last night, we were bearing witness to an amazing effort. Amazing effort from the one and only Jimmy Butler, who threw up a 50-burger. On the Milwaukee Bucks, who are on the verge of going home. And who the hell could have seen that coming? Even with Giannis hurt. Now, and I talked about this a little bit last night on the show. Remember, the Bucks are one of those teams that really didn't do anything at the trade deadline. They stood pat, and they won 58 games, so it's hard to argue with that. But at the same time, there are some teams that when you just get to the postseason, they're a different animal, and Miami is one of those teams. Even in the play-in tournament, and I said this last night, their first game in the play-in tournament, Miami, was horrendous. They lost at home. They looked lethargic. They looked lackadaisical. They didn't look like a team that wanted to be there. And then all of a sudden, they win the second play-in game to get into the postseason. And now they're on the verge of knocking off the 1 seed. And I'll tell you right now, the happiest team in the world is the Knicks. Because everything is breaking right for the New York Knicks right now to potentially make a run to the NBA Finals. And I know that sounds crazy on its face, but it's not. Because there's only one team that I would say the Knicks would have trouble with in this postseason, and that's Philadelphia. That's the only team I could see that I would put as a prohibitive favorite against the Knicks. The Knicks do not match up well with a healthy Philadelphia, I should say. So if Embiid is healthy and playing, and who knows what his status is, then that would be the only team that I would worry about as a Knicks fan. But everybody else that's left in the postseason, if Miami wins this series, you telling me the Knicks can't beat the Boston Celtics in a 7-game series? Have you watched the Knicks against Boston this year? And again, I get it. Regular season is different than the postseason. But the Knicks could make a run to the NBA Finals with this team. And who the hell knows who they're going to face when they get there? You got a 2 seed on the verge of going home in the Western Conference, Minnesota against the Lakers, which that is not a surprise. We told you on this show, Lakers in 6. Still feeling really good about that. And Denver right now up at the half against Minnesota over on NBA TV. Matter of fact, just walking off the court at the half, 48-47. The Nuggets on top of the T-Wolves in that opening round matchup with Denver trying to close it out. And Minnesota not making it easy on them either. It's tough to get the closeout game, man. It ain't easy. It ain't easy getting the, they always say the 3 hardest outs to get in a baseball game are the last 3 outs. The hardest win to get is that last win to close out a team. Go ask the Celtics. And look, this has been emblematic of the Celtics season. There have been so many head-scratching losses for the Celtics this year. And obviously there weren't enough of those head-scratching losses to keep them from being a 2 seed. But there were plenty of times this year where we came on the air at the end of a Celtics game going, did that really just happen? Did they really lose that way? Remember, they lost to Houston, I think, one game this year. And Houston's literally trying to lose, and they couldn't beat Houston. That's pretty hard to do. But you know what? All the credit in the world to Trae Young. What do you have, 38? 37, 38, something like that. And was terrific late in this game, and he hit the dagger 3 to put the Hawks up a couple, and they go on to beat the Celtics, I think 119-117. And the last thing you wanted if you're Boston, the last thing you wanted was to have to go back to the ATL. And DeJounte Murray's going to be back for that game 6 down there. And you know what? Anything can happen. It's been a wild season in the NBA. The postseason, regular season, much different animals. I'll tell you, the one thing that would concern me, by the way, if I'm a Boston fan, even about if you're talking about this team making a run deep and winning an NBA title, defensively tonight, Atlanta was getting whatever they wanted. They just couldn't get stops. And finally, they were able to string a few stops together. But it felt like every possession in this game had a score in it. I mean, I'm just watching these two teams go back and forth, especially in the third quarter. And it just felt like nobody was playing defense. For an NBA game, it was very peculiar. Because it was almost as if the two teams seeded the defensive end of the floor, and it was just going to be our offense against your offense. Which one's going to score more? And that's a very dangerous proposition when you got a guy like Trae Young on the other team. And it felt like Jason Tatum disappeared in the fourth quarter of this game. Where was Jason Tatum? You got Marcus Smart making bad fouls. And look, now you got a game 6 if you're Atlanta, and that's all you could ask for is get the series back home for a game 6. You have 3 chances at closeout games tonight. The Celtics made it 0 for 1. You got Minnesota and Denver locked up in a tight one at the half in the Mile High City, and now Phoenix will try to close out the Los Angeles Clippers in 5. In a game that I believe is just getting underway. We will keep tabs on it all night. By the way, we were 2 for 2 last night on the in-game live betting. We had, cash it in, baby. Minus 3.5 on the Lakers. Plus 1.5 on the Lakers. You were a winner on both of them. Congratulations to those of you that took our advice. Yes? On which one? Which bet are we talking about? Oh yeah, we did have a bet on that, didn't we? That was a fast food? Yes, I did completely forget. That's a fast food bet. That's a fast food bet, isn't it? That's a $25. That's a $25 fast food. Wow. I almost feel bad taking a fast food gift card from you, but not really. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. All right, stick around. We'll come back. We'll update you on these 2 NBA games, tell you what's going on in the NHL. A lot more to do. Cash in, just getting started. SportsMap Radio. You see the... No, it was our choice. It was choice of fast food. No, I didn't choose one. Did you see the new video set? Like it, right? This is the set we're going to be using. Yeah. Yeah, it showed up. That is the new shelf. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. Yeah, so this is here it is, right? If you look on the screen, you'll see that's where we used to do it from. Yeah, tell me when you see it. You'll see it. So that's the old side. Yeah. Now we're now we're over here. Yippers. That dishwasher will not be on at all. Patrick Ewing on the basketball, whole bunch of different NFL players on the other football. And Ndamukong Suh is one of the names on it. A bunch of busts, though, too. No. Huge. Just started watching the latest season of The Mandalorian. We're about 3 or 4 episodes in. Yeah, don't tell me. Yeah. We just watched the episode where they wiped the guy's brain out at the end of the episode. I was like, that is awesome. No, don't. It's so funny you should say that. You're talking about the one with the character Cal or whatever his name is. I actually just started playing the first one with him the other night. I'm gonna give it a shot because I used to like what the hell is it called? The Force Awakens? I forget. It was a long time ago. It was like 7 or 8 years ago. Yeah. Bum, 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 bum. Good to have you with us tonight. SportsMap Radio. SportsMap Radio app. Watching a trailer for the Flash movie. Not gonna lie, kind of geeking out about the Flash. Yes, absolutely. Michael Keaton making an appearance in that movie is the greatest thing ever. It's like Batman with a walker. Isn't that awesome? There it is. There's Michael Keaton. It's so cool. That first Batman with Jack Nicholson as Joker, very underrated. Very underrated. It's a first run at it, though. You got to remember, it was the first run at it. That was the last movie I saw in the movie theater with my father. Yeah, that's how long it's been since my father and I saw a movie in the theater together. Was that Batman? He's still alive. You know, I'm not like saying like rest in peace, but he's matter of fact, I called my mom today. She said, "Your dad's outside. He's turning 80 in May." She's like, "Your dad's outside trying to fix the tractor." I'm like, "Get him off the ground. He's not going to be able to get up. He's barely mobile at this point." Like, you know, no, like really, what could possibly go wrong? Your dad's under the tractor. The next call I get is, "Your dad got ran over by the tractor." I'm like, come on, you know. He's just there's just pieces of him under the tractor. He didn't make it. I'm kidding, not kidding. Phoenix on top of the Clippers, 12-11, 7:08 to go in the first quarter in Phoenix. Can the Suns do what the Celtics could not do tonight? Can the Suns do what the Knicks will try to do tomorrow in Cleveland? Can the Suns do what the Lakers will try to do in Memphis tomorrow night? Can the Suns do what the Heat will be trying to do in Milwaukee tomorrow night? Only one series tomorrow is tied at 2 games apiece. That'll be the Warriors and Kings. De'Aaron Fox will play in that game amazingly for the in all this time when you hear, so-and-so isn't playing because of a hamstring injury for 3 months, Zion Williamson or something like that. Then you see that De'Aaron Fox is going to play with a fractured finger tomorrow night. It just tells you how bad these guys want it. Or Kawhi Leonard, a knee injury, missing, the rest of this series. It just crushes you as a basketball fan when you wind up losing out on a guy like Kawhi Leonard in this series, given how well he played the first 2 games. I don't know if they would have won the series anyway, to be totally honest. I think Paul George was needed for them to win this series. But at the same time, it is just crushing to see, the Clippers have to try and play this series without PG and without Kawhi Leonard. Although I do have to say this, and even the Suns players said, boy, that looked like vintage Westbrook the last guy. What do you have, like 37 or something like that? It's fun seeing Russell Westbrook get another run in the sun here, so to speak. No pun intended. Anyway, we'll keep tabs on all these games as we continue to go through the evening. At the half, Denver leads Minnesota 48-47 again as they look for the closeout in that series. One other sports note tonight before we get into a few issues that I want to talk about. The Tampa Bay Rays finally lost at home tonight. Oh, here we go. Yeah, they lost to the Houston Astros. The Houston Astros. Yeah. Houston won tonight 5-0 in Tampa Bay. So the Rays can go back to... Wow, the Rays had 20... Oh, no, I'm sorry. Whoops, I read that wrong. I was like, wow, the Rays had 25,000. No, that's capacity for them because they close off the upper deck now. It was 9,916. Wow. You think it looked like less than that? Well, it's not difficult to figure out why. Who wants to see the Astros? I mean, and I said this last night on the show, and I'm not saying it to bang on Houston. They are not a team that fans, world champions be damned. They're not a team that you're coming out to see on a Tuesday night. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Nope. Nobody cares anymore. It was 4 years ago. That was years ago. Who cares? Nah. No, present company's included. I'm still bitter about it, but, it's okay. Nope. Oh, calm down. Pipe down on the two biggest. At this point, Houston's 13 and 11. What are they favorites for? They're not favorites for anything right now. It's not fake. You are, like Bill Parcells says, you are what your record says you are. Well, I don't know. Boston might think it's true right now because they couldn't get a stop late in the game tonight. I should give out the phone number, 1-800-224-2004, 800-224-2004. We have a text line that is exclusive to this show. I do it just for you, the people. 888-670-8549 is the text line number, 888-670-8549 if you want to hit us up on the text line. I swear to you, I hope Westbrook goes off for like 40 tonight and the Clippers figure out a way to get this thing back to LA. I really do. Because I almost get a kick out of the every game nature of the Kawhi reports about, all right, if the Clippers figure out a way to win this game, could we get a situation where we got to wait again? Hey, is Kawhi going to play next game? Kawhi, and then he doesn't. And then the media gets to lash out again about Kawhi not being able to play through injury, Kawhi not being able to tough it out. Time of the year where, you just got to kind of lay it all out there. His money's guaranteed already. I mean, just get out there and play the game. It's the Clippers' fault anyway. If he was hurt after game 1, they shouldn't have played him in game 2. Are the Yankees losing again? Is that game gone final? Yeah, Yankees lost again. The Yankees' offense is just miserable right now. Oh, come on, man. Means I don't get to play New York. I don't get to play New York on the show tonight. It's bad. Yankees lose to the Twins 6-2 tonight. Just no offense. Yeah, Twins have taken the first couple. Yankees lost their first series of the year over the weekend against Toronto. It's not good. It's just not good. Pablo Banchero wins the Rookie of the Year award for the Magic today, by the way. Yeah. No, it's absolutely a no-brainer. Future's bright in Orlando. I'll keep saying it. At some point, it'll be true. The future's bright in Orlando. Yes, absolutely. So yeah, Banchero wins the Rookie of the Year honors. 3 NHL games going on. I was actually texting with our buddy Dennis Bernstein from SiriusXM Radio and thefourthperiod.com. One of the many people I texted today, see if they were going to come on the show, and he couldn't. Islanders beat Carolina 3-2, so Carolina's still up 3-2 in that series. Edmonton up 3-2 on the Kings. That game late in the first period, a scoring bonanza, if you will, between the Oilers and the Kings. So that game tied, or rather that game at 3-2 Edmonton, late first period. Goaltending's been an issue for the Kings all year. That series tied at 2 games apiece. They are getting late into the third period, just past that midway point in the third. Dallas leads Minnesota 3-0 as those two teams battle it out in Big D, with that series tied at 2 games apiece. All right, so now you're up to date. That's everything that's going on as we speak. I'm not going to run through all the baseball games. It's early regular season baseball, and nobody cares. Unless you're Brian, apparently, and you want to make the Astros. You want to make the Astros and Rays. You want to make the Astros and Rays now prohibitive favorites. The ALCS has already been decided, apparently. Who knew? No, you cannot. It's a baseball game 25 games into the season. Nope. No, it absolutely is not. All right, we'll come back. Aaron Rodgers is penning love letters. Hear about him next on the Cash In at SportsMap Radio. I just I went to the temple, got back on the plane, got back on the fighter. So I got 1 of 3 on the first of the 3 things. Got on the fighter. I went to the Red Planet. I forget which one that is. Dinturi or whatever. Yeah, I'm there. And I stopped there because I couldn't find a save point and I kept dying. Oh, good to know. Oh, good. If not, I'll just hand it to my husband and let him do it. Help! Yeah, I love that thing. It's very cool. Do you know where in the course of the Star Wars saga that takes place? Like which movies it's between? After Return of the Jedi? So it's between episodes 3 and 4. Got it. Got it. Okay. Did you see in the new streaming ticker at the bottom of the video feed too? Yeah. We got a new ticker. Very cool. I had been looking forever and somebody finally developed a free sports ticker. Could not, I mean, nope, I got to pay for any. Nope, don't got to pay for any of it. Nope. Yeah, I was thrilled because it's really cool. Yeah, the TV, the other thing we're working think twice. If I had what some of these people had on OnlyFans, I'd do that until I'm 35 and retire, because they're all making a killing. Sure. Yes, absolutely. I mean, yeah, and I'm not even talking about like having sex on video or anything like that. I'm not. Oh God, there are people right now listening to this show in the Heartland who are cringing. Absolutely. Which, by the way, are the biggest purveyors of porn, the biggest viewers of porn, are the people. Oh, it's the Bible Belt. They're all watching it more than we are out here in California. I can promise you. But no, true. Honestly, if I could do that, I would do it. Hell, just yeah, absolutely. Because a lot of them don't even have. It's not. A lot of them don't even have sex on OnlyFans. They just take pictures, sit there and show off their wares. Unfortunately, that ship has sailed. I'm in my 40. I am. I'm down 20. I'm down 21 pounds. I mean, look at me. I look decent on camera tonight. Not good enough to do OnlyFans, but I am not OnlyFans ready. I'm trying to think of whatever the antithesis of OnlyFans would be. maybe it'd be a show on Twitter. That's it. A show on at the back page on Twitter. And by the way, if you guys are listening and you want to watch the show, we are live every night on Twitter at the back page. You just go and look at my timeline. You'll see the show there. Also can watch the show on Facebook, The Jason Page. You could also watch the show on YouTube, Decibel 88. And you can watch the show on Twitch, Jason Page 77. So there's a zillion different ways to consume this show. Eventually, I'd just like to put it on TV somewhere, but for now, you get this. And we got a brand new video set up for the show. If you watch it, you'll see it. We also got a streaming ticker at the bottom of the screen, so you're not going to miss anything from your favorite games. You'll get all the scores as they scroll across the bottom of the screen. The crawl, as they call it. So keep an eye on that as well. What do we got going on in the NBA games right now? Let's get off of OnlyFans before I lose my syndicated deal here. T-Wolves and Nuggets tied at 65. Midway through the third quarter. Clippers and Suns tied at 32, 11:41 to go, second quarter. So that's what we got going on as far as the NBA is concerned right now. Those NHL playoff games, Dallas on top of Minnesota 4-0 late in the third period. So Dallas about to wrap that baby up, take a 3-2 series lead. End of the first, it's Edmonton 3, the Kings 2, with that series tied at 2 games apiece. Islanders crept to within a game of Carolina tonight. Hurricanes could not get the closeout tonight in Raleigh as the Islanders get the win tonight 3-2. So they'll go back to Long Island with the Islanders leading that series 3-2. 1-800-224-2004, 800-224-2004. You want to text at the show, go ahead and do it. 888-670-8549, 888-670-8549 if you want to get at us that way. I got to get to the Aaron Rodgers love letter to the Packer fans, which is, well, I mean, look, a lot of guys do this stuff on their way out the door, and I always kind of mock it. If there is one guy who has the right, if there's one guy who is deserving of being able to pen a love letter to a fan base on his way out the door, it certainly is Aaron Rodgers. He gave, nobody could ever question the guy's heart, the guy's want, the guy's drive to win. You could question sometimes the way he's gone about carrying himself, especially here over the last couple of years. Because, I mean, the Packers and him could have come to this decision a couple of years ago. They could have come to this decision before last season. I mean, they basically wasted a year of each other's lives last year because Rodgers wasn't invested in the team last year. You could argue they weren't invested in him because they didn't surround him with much. I mean, you could have had Jordan Love at quarterback last year for the Packers, and you probably would have done just as well as they did this year, if you really think about it. But both sides have moved on. We'll get you the Rodgers stuff coming up. Lots more, too. I'm Jason Page, the Cash In, SportsMap Radio. So I had a conversation with All right, good to have you with us tonight. SportsMap Radio. SportsMap Radio app. All right, Brian, what do you think of the new WWE Championship? I only got one night with you this week, so I have to ask before I forget. Well, they're not adding it. They're just changing it. They're still only going to be two heavyweight championships. Yeah, it's not. Well, that's what's going to happen, though. They want their cake and eat it, too. They want to still have Roman as champion, and they want to get Cody his title. I agree. If it's not... Well, then maybe Cody doesn't win it. Maybe it's not Cody that wins it. Seth Rollins? Yeah, I get it. What do you think about the CM Punk? It is. It's a good looking belt. What'd you think of the CM Punk story? Yeah, it's true. Fair enough. Yeah, I saw Sasha Banks also lost her title in Japan too. Yeah, Mandalorian. Is she in this season? By the way, don't spoil anything. Okay, she is in it. Okay. Okay. Well, don't tell me what episode. I want to be surprised when I see her. You're that guy. You're the human spoiler. You're the human spoiler, aren't you? That's you. Yeah, I know you could. Clippers lead the Suns 45-43 as they play 7:17 to go. Second period. Not hockey, Jason. Second quarter in Phoenix. Kevin Durant went down. He's holding on to his hip, but he looks like he's going to be all right. So that game, 45-43. Clippers with 7:17 to go in the second quarter. And how about the Minnesota Timberwolves? Showing some heart, showing some moxie. Leading in Denver, 73-72. I'm going to flip over to that game right now, I think. I'm going to switch over and see if Minnesota could throw a little monkey wrench into things. Get that series back to Minneapolis at 3-2. Can I tell you what's worse? Last night on the show, I said I thought all three of these series would be closeouts tonight. Like all three were going to get closed out. Wouldn't it be funny if not one of them wound up closing out? I'm sure Adam Silver in the NBA would be thrilled. Who wants a bunch of series, over in 5 games, and you're basically sitting around waiting, keeping in mind Philadelphia already wrapped things up against the Nets. And now you're going to have a little excitement. These series going back to the teams down 3-2 potentially. I mean, could be pretty interesting. I got to say this. I didn't get to talk about it in the aftermath because it went to overtime. But LeBron James last night, talk about breathtaking performances. I mean, my God. I was having it out with our friend Nick Hamilton on Twitter yesterday, who comes on the show, because he can't stand LeBron. I don't know if he'll ever say that, but if you just go and read if you read somebody's Twitter feed enough, I always laugh when people say, I'm not anti this, or I'm not anti that, or I'm not pro this, or I'm not pro that, when all you got to do is a simple search, a scan through somebody's Twitter timeline, and you can find out exactly who they are in terms of what they support, what they don't support, politically, sports-wise. I'll guarantee if you go through my timeline, you'll be able to figure out pretty quickly what I like and what I don't like. As much as I try to hide any biases I may have, if you go through somebody's Twitter timeline, you're going to find out what they like and don't like. And I know that Nick is not a big LeBron guy. So we were having it out a little bit yesterday on Twitter. Nothing too contentious, but a fair disagreement, I think. And you go and watch a performance like that from LeBron last night. And I always marvel at these people that are just LeBron haters. Like the first thing you read this morning on Twitter is, well, he's not Michael Jordan. Okay, fine. He'll settle for the second greatest player in the history of the NBA. I mean, really? It's just amazing that the first place, the lowest hanging fruit, the laziest thing that people could do is say, well, he's not Michael Jordan. Okay, fine. He's not undefeated in the NBA Finals. He's won championships now with 3 different teams as the star of those teams. He's the leading scorer in the history of the NBA. And he's doing things at this stage of his career that no one has done. There is no argument to that. There's no, well, Jordan's better than him. No, nobody has done what you're seeing LeBron James do right now at this stage of their career. No one. It's not even close. There's no debate. The argument is over. You lost. He is that special. And we're not talking about a guy who's, in his year 19 season or whatever, 18 season, averaging, 20. The guy was averaging damn near 30 a game for a large stretch of this season. He put up a 20-20 last night. A 20-20. Remarkable. There's just, there are no words. There are no superlatives that would accurately depict what he did. And I was the first person to hammer him on the penultimate possession for the, good word for you to use there tomorrow, Brian. Find a way to slip that one into your vocabulary tomorrow. Penultimate. Okay? Every night I try to give you one, Brian. I try to give you one. You do need to work on that. You did all right there. You just did it. You just said it correctly. That was good. But I mean, you watch a performance like that last night, and in the penultimate possession, he made a terrible decision. He took forever holding the basketball and made a decision too late to drive to the basket, kicked it out, shot was blocked, all that. And they get nothing out of that possession. And then he gets another chance the very next possession. And I have always argued this when it comes to LeBron. Coming downhill, it ain't anybody. I mean, again, I've been watching the NBA. I'm 45 years old. I've been watching the NBA since I was, 8 or 9 years old. Coming downhill, there's nothing like him. There isn't. In terms of controlling his body, the finesse. I mean, to get that shot over the tree in the middle last night, high off the glass, nowhere near the box that they tell you to kiss it off of when you're a kid and you're learning to use the backboard. Not even close to it. And able to find the touch to put that ball in the basket in that moment, that critical moment. Now, again, there are plenty of times to go after LeBron for, misses, but he's never afraid in the moment to either take the big shot or have the ball in his hand to help somebody else get the big shot. There's nobody like him. I mean, I hope we get 2 or 3 more years of this LeBron. Because when he's gone, and there will come a day when he's gone, we always pay homage to guys way too late. You got to enjoy. I mean, you just never know with a guy his age when the end is. When they suddenly start to go downhill. There are no signs of that right now with LeBron, but you got to enjoy this ride. I mean, I'm sure while the NBA loves to nurture and foster the futures of some of its star players, they wouldn't mind a LeBron run deep into this postseason. That wraps up hour number 1. We got 2 very good NBA games couple of good game fives. We'll keep tabs on them. Coming back, more of the Cash In, SportsMap Radio. I have to say, I'm very excited about the prospect of interesting. Well, what shift do you want? I was going to say, you don't want my shift. You don't want that shift. Okay. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. Another hour of the show starts right now on SportsMap Radio and the SportsMap Radio app. Thank you for being a part of it. Wherever you're listening, however you are consuming the cornucopia of cool that is this show. Kudos to the Astros. They hand the Rays their first loss. Yeah, sure. Jose Abreu contributing tonight. Let me tell you something. The White Sox knew what they were doing. You know. No, get geeky, please. Barrel rate. Balls in play. Can I do a little ASMR with barrel rate? Balls in play. Expected wins above replacement. Oh, that's great. Good. Nothing turns me on more than batted balls in play. Oh my God. If we could just do, I swear to God, when I look at Baseball Reference, I don't even know 70% of what I'm looking at when I look at the statistics anymore. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh yeah, just nothing gets me weaker in the knees than it's great. Jeremy Pena too did a little something tonight. You know, it was off to a really good start for the Red Sox is Jarren Durant hitting like 387 after just being a bust his first couple of years in the league. All of a sudden he's starting to perform as well. Pirates lost tonight. They're playing really well though. Off to one of their best starts in forever. Yeah. And they're leading in NL Central where Milwaukee's 15-8. So, you know. So, I'm pretty impressed. I just wanted to see. Let me see here. Let me go. Jose Abreu. Just as a let me see. Jose Abreu. Let's see. Yeah. Let's talk instead of WAR, let's talk runs above replacement level. Ooh. Nothing gets me more excited than RDP, runs grounded into double plays. Yeah. When you get into the OPS plus, look out, man. Whew. Man. Just it's enough to send me over the edge. Yeah. Jose Abreu, 291 career hitter, by the way, hitting 250 this year. So anyway, we're keeping tabs on the playoff games. I'll get back to those in a bit. Denver leads Minnesota 86-84, just to keep you posted, because I'm going to get into some real stuff here. Actually, 86-86, Minnesota and Denver now. 86-86 in that game. And Clippers lead the Suns 66-61, late second quarter. Boy, would that be something if they got that thing back to L.A. for game. Get it back. All I want is get it back to L.A. for Game 6 and then tell me Kawhi Leonard is playing. Just get me that. Just sign me up for that. Because the Knicks are going to close out Cleveland. If not in 5, then in 6. I mean, the Knicks are winning that series, so that's a wrap. I still think Boston's going to win their series. Milwaukee's done. We've stuck a fork in Milwaukee. The Grizzlies are done. Dylan Brooks should just have to go stick his head in a paper bag for like this entire offseason and walk around with it on. Just say I'm an idiot. Poke the bear, man. Yeah, I poke bears. Isn't that what he said? I poke bears. Called LeBron old. Think about how he looked last night when Brooks was basically hanging onto his arm for dear life, and LeBron was still scoring in that OT. Jesus. Dylan Brooks. Poor man's Draymond Green with better hair. That's it. And a lot less bling. A lot less bling. I'm telling you, it's going to be a lot of guys on that team giving him the evil eye because he set this thing in motion. I'm not saying the Lakers weren't going to win the series regardless or any of that stuff, but there's one thing we've seen throughout the history of sports. You don't go after the all-time greats like that. You just don't do it. Yeah, that's what I've used that one a million times. You don't tug on Superman's cape. Exactly. By the way, Kings are a home underdog against the Warriors tomorrow night. Even through 4 games, as tightly contested as this series has been, the Kings are a 1.5 point underdog. And I know that's basically a pick'em. I mean, my God, they barely hung on for dear life at home in game 4. I mean, I think the Kings still win the series because the Warriors still haven't shown one thing, and that is they can win on the road. They have not convinced me that they can win a big game on the road. But there were signs late in that game, if you're a Kings fan, that had to be a bit disconcerting in terms of sort of the gameplay and the game plan and the strategy and the execution late in that game. Even though they still wound up with a final chance to win the game late, that was largely De'Aaron Fox just putting the team on his back. They struggled down the stretch to get good shots. Some sloppy possessions, things like that would have to concern you a little bit. And I said this last night on the show, and it bears repeating. Every good young team has had to go through these growing pains. It's a lot to expect of the Kings to beat the Warriors in this first round series. That being said, I said they would win the series. That is as much to do with the Warriors as it does the Kings. But we've seen it throughout the history of sports. Teams that struggle to get over the hump that first time around. And then next year, they're able to make that leap because they've gone through that experience. Even Jordan's Bulls couldn't get by the Pistons the first time around. It took till the second try to be able to get by him. And the Kings might have to, as much as I want to say the Kings are still going to win this series, they may have to go through that experience. I don't know, maybe game 4 was enough to kind of set them in the right frame of mind. They go back home now. That place will be up for grabs up at the Golden Nugget Credit Union or whatever the hell it's called, that arena up there. So we'll see what happens. In this hour of the show, I will get to Aaron Rodgers and some of the people he thanked in his farewell letter to the fans in Green Bay. I want you to imagine something for a second. Just close your eyes, clear your mind. I want you to imagine, I don't know, the Houston Texans. We'll just throw them out there. And I'm not picking on them. But let's just I'm not going to pick on them, Brian. Not going to pick on them. Imagine the Houston Texans. And I don't know, what was the worst game for the Texans last year? If we look at the Texans 2022 season schedule. No, but I mean, I'll take a really quick look here. Texans, imagine them. Let's see, 31. Okay, they lost. All right, here we go. January 1st. Here we go. January 1st. January 1st, the Texans lost 31-3 to the Jaguars. Okay? Now, I want you to imagine for a moment that after that game, the Texans as an organization just fired the head coach right on site and then said, and fans, everybody who bought tickets to that game, we're going to give you your money back. And not only are we going to give you your money back, but the actual money that you're going to get is going to come from the players on the team. Imagine that for a moment. Imagine if the Texans players refunded fans for that loss against the Jaguars 31-3. That's exactly what happened with Tottenham Hotspur's first team squad. They are refunding supporters who traveled to watch Sunday's 6-1 humiliating loss at the hands of Newcastle United. Imagine that for a second. Spurs interim coach Christian Stellini was fired after this game. They were down 5-0 in 21 minutes. Notice how I got that right, by the way? 5-0. Before Harry Kane struck a second half consolation goal. But imagine if you're if an ownership and the guys on the team were like, this was so bad we should give the money back to the fans, and they did. Something like that. And I don't think anything's ever happened like that in American sports. I think about maybe 6 or 7 years ago, the Phoenix Suns, when they were really bad, had a game where they were so bad they actually did give refunds to fans, or they might have given them a ticket to another game. I don't remember. But it was the closest I've ever seen to something like that. You imagine? All right, we're coming back. Cash In rolls along on a Tuesday at SportsMap Radio. Oh, I should grab a drink. You think there might be a promo in the OnlyFans conversation we had? Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Cool. That's going to be a bomb chicken wow wow bed. Bomb chicken wow wow. I'm actually drinking the remnants of a Diet Coke right now, which is something I have not done during the show for a while. Once in a blue moon, I'll have one. I'm down 21 pounds so far. I've kind of hit this barrier at 230. Yeah, I'm at 230 right now, and I can't. I still like the way I look on camera right now as opposed to before, though. My face is definitely thinned out some. Problem is, I'm not doing as much physical exercise as I did. When I lost 65 pounds, I was on the treadmill 3 or 4 days a week. You know, like I was healthy enough I could have run a 5K in 2019. Right now, I still can't do that. Oh, my God, I should have been an offensive foul. Wow. Wow, and one for the cat. And honestly, I thought it should have been an offensive foul. Watch him wrap his arm around right here. I don't know how that wasn't an offensive foul on Karl Anthony Towns. Wow. 91-88, Denver leads Minnesota, and Karl Anthony Towns will be going for a free throw coming up here in just a moment. Oh, we got a challenge. Oh, we got a challenge light on. The green light's blinking. Yep. All right. We'll have to wait and see if it holds up. So that's what we got going on with those two teams. Good couple of good finishes in store, it feels like. Clippers up 9 at the break on Phoenix, 70-61. I haven't been watching that game because the other game is closer to the finish, but I'm just trying to see where the Clippers are getting all this off. They have 70 points in the first half with no Kawhi Leonard and no Paul George. Norman Powell has 16. Zubats has 10. Marcus Morris Sr. has 10. Westbrook has 7. And they got a whole bunch of contributions off the bench. 13 and 14, 27 points off their bench in the first half. To the Suns, 11. You want the difference in the game? There it is. And Kevin Durant's 4 of 11 for 12 points. I mean, shame on the Suns. And they're still going to probably win the series. Don't get me wrong. But shame on the Suns. You can't close this thing out with no Paul George and no Kawhi Leonard. I mean, I am flabbergasted at both of the results tonight, potentially in the works. The one that took place in Boston tonight, where Boston loses at home to a Hawks team without DeJounte Murray, and now a Phoenix team that is on the verge of potentially losing a game at home to the Clippers. I mean, you got to wrap these series up. And Chris Paul's not getting any younger. Kevin Durant, every time you play a game with him, it could be the one where he gets hurt. So, you got to close these series out when you get a chance. Challenge unsuccessful. So, free throw coming for Karl Anthony Towns to make it a 2-point game, 91-88 Denver on top of Minnesota right now. So, we'll keep an eye on what's going on there. The phone number, 1-800-224-2004, 800-224-2004. You want to text the show? Go ahead and do it. 888-670-8549, 888-670-8549. Live betting. We're always looking for opportunities to make you guys some money. The Clippers right now, oh my God, sign me up for this. Here you go. Lock this baby in. You ready? Ready, Brian McDonald? Clippers plus 2.5 is the live line. They're up 9. I mean, if I had a house right now, I think I'd bet it on it. I might be homeless at the end of the night. I'm telling you, if I had somebody, I would. I would absolutely. If I had somebody I could bet something that is the equivalent of my Patrick Ewing basketball, I would do it. All right, lock this one in right now. Don't wait, run. Clippers plus 2.5 on the live betting line right now in Phoenix against the Suns. Do it. Do it now. Jerry in Louisville, Texas, loves to text the show. He always says, give me some picks. Jerry in Louisville, Texas, this bud's for you. Go. Put everything you have in that home of yours in Louisville, Texas. I absolutely am. Well, if he puts it all on the line and I lose the bet, it's not. How's he going to get to Palm Springs, California to find me anyway? He's going to take a bus. What is this, Midnight Run with Robert De Niro and Charles Grodin? Yeah, no. I'm 100%. This is like if I could be like one of those crazy sketchy people that send you text messages saying, I've got the lock of the night, this would be the one. Clippers plus 2.5. Do it now. I mean, how do you not? Can I get my boy Dave in Connecticut to do that for me? Dave in Connecticut. Can you give me a Clippers plus, I'm texting them, plus 2.5. Live line. Do it now. Be feeding this kid ramen in the morning. Daddy, why don't we have any cereal? Sorry, son. No, I love it. I think the Clippers are going to win this game. I really do. I think the Clippers are going to win this game. I think the Clippers are going to win the game outright. I wouldn't tell you to go and make that bet at plus 124 if you feel so inclined. But I love the Clippers right now. Team looks like it's playing with a lot of confidence for a team that doesn't have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George out there. The Suns are just kind of going through the motions. What else we got in that game? 247.5 is your total. 70-61 at the break. That's probably a good number. Thing is, if that game goes over 247.5, then Phoenix wins. Because it's going to mean Phoenix puts up a lot of points in the second half. So I'd be a little gun shy on that. I'll give you another one. Can I give you another one right now? I'm going to give you a second one, guys. I'll give you another winner. Nuggets T-Wolves. The total right now in that game is 212.5. Go with the under. Under 212.5 on the Nuggets T-Wolves total. Denver leads 97-92. That thing's going to come to a grinding halt. It has to. Possessions are going to be at a premium. You slow it down. You run more shot clock. 97-92. Now it just dropped, but I would have been able to get it at 212.5. That would have been the number. Now it's at 210.5, but yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Especially, as this thing sort of stretches out. Right now Denver's up 5. Denver's up 5 in this game with 4:41 to go. And if that thing gets to 6 or 7, you start to see Minnesota get more desperate. Minnesota gets more desperate. They'll start heaving up some threes. And if those shots don't go down, Denver gets the ball. They run more clock, that sort of thing. So those are my two bets for you tonight. Under 212.5, Denver and Minnesota, plus 2.5 on the Clippers, which is at the half. 70-61 is the score. Couple other things I want to get to in this hour of the show. We'll do some baseball in the back half of the hour. It's hard to believe that the Pittsburgh Pirates, who we briefly discussed in the first hour of the show, and I'm not going to go crazy about the Pittsburgh Pirates, but what I am going to go crazy about is the idea that the Pittsburgh Pirates just gave out their first $100 million contract ever. And think about where we are in baseball right now. We're $100 million contracts. I mean, that's not, even the Rays have given out, I think, a $100 million contract, right? Wander Franco. I don't know. Did Evan Longoria get one at one point? I mean, even some of the smallest of the small market teams have given out these kinds of contracts. And the Pittsburgh Pirates, that have been around baseball forever, just gave out their first $100 million contract. Are they caught up in the moment? Are they caught up in all the hoopla of the great start for this team? Because it just seems kind of odd that all of a sudden this deal came together for Brian Reynolds when there was really no deal to be had in the offseason. He was asking out, hoping the team would trade him away. There had been talk about a whole bunch of different teams, the Yankees included, as a possible landing spot. The Yankees wish they had him right now. They have one of the worst outfields in baseball outside of Aaron Judge. And one coming for Karl Anthony Towns here. Minnesota within 2. Putting a scare into the Nuggets tonight in Denver. Loving that. Stars make it official, by the way. Take a 3-2 series lead. Dallas gets a victory over the Wild tonight. 4-0 was the final there. And at the end of 2, Edmonton up 5-2 on the Kings. Chance to go up 3-2 in that series for Edmonton. Connor McDavid, a couple of assists in that game. All right, stick around. We'll come back on the other side. More to do. Update you on these NBA games. Some great finishes in store. The Cash In on SportsMap Radio. Awesome. I swear this guy, I think he intentionally takes perspectives that are opposite mine on purpose. I swear to God. Every time. Yep.
I'm going Twitter.
Huh?
Twitter.
No.
All that?
No. Another show host. Might be guest free tonight. Now we might get Bruce back. We might get Bruce back from NBC4 in New York. I don't know yet. Oh, my underpick on this looks brilliant right now. Is that an and one? Oh, that didn't help. Shatner. Send me this promo. I love this. We talked about having OnlyFans on the show tonight. How if we had certain physical attributes, we would do OnlyFans. That's a great promo. Cool, thank you. I like to move it, move it. Free throws are the enemy of the under. Under. Boom, 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 boom. Still pretty tight in Denver, 102-97. Denver on top of Minnesota. Offensive foul on Nikola Jokic going the other way. We told you under 212.5. was our live betting advice for this game. Oh, 3-ball corner pocket. Who hit that? I'm not sure who hit that. Denver leads Minnesota 102-100. Coming up on 2:10 to go in the fourth quarter. Heck of a finish between the between the Nuggets and the T-Wolves. Oh, Jokic takes a 3 and misses. Oh boy, it's getting tight. We are in sweat mode on this bet. Clippers lead Phoenix 75-70, 9:07 to go in the third. Tie game in Denver. Wow. Anthony Edwards, 102-102. You know what else is the enemy of the under? Overtime. We do not want to see overtime in this game. Ugh, that would be really bad. And, of course, Phoenix is getting back into the game against the Clippers, which is why that line was Clippers plus 2.5. You knew Phoenix was going to make a run. It was 70-61 at the break. Now it's 75-71. Clippers on top of the Suns. 8:56 to go in the third quarter. We'll keep tabs on all of it as we continue to move through the night. All right, so in a farewell letter to Packers fans on his Insta before he goes and gets introduced to Jets fans tomorrow, Aaron Rodgers did a whole bunch of thank you notes, a la not Jimmy Kimmel. Who's the guy that's on NBC? The late Jimmy Fallon. Thank you. My brains are mashed potatoes. So Aaron Rodgers wrote, "This is not the end for us." Can we do like a dramatic reading of Aaron Rodgers? We should do a dramatic reading of it. Can we do like some sad music underneath it? You got any sad tones you could put under me here? Okay. Let me know when you're ready with that. This is why we do like production meetings before shows, for moments like this. When I give you a dramatic reading of Aaron Rodgers' farewell letter to Packer fans. It's funny, the picture that he put up on his Insta is of a very young Aaron Rodgers holding up his jersey at the draft after being drafted by the Packers. Remember, that was an excruciating wait for him. Just sitting there waiting for somebody to draft him. Remember, he slipped in that draft. So if you're a quarterback this year and you happen to slip a little bit in the draft, there's a whole bunch of guys that could happen to. Just look at Aaron Rodgers as your example. All right, here we go. Aaron Rodgers, the dramatic reading of the Aaron Rodgers farewell letter to Packer fans. Aaron Rodgers says, "Thank you," with a heart emoji, of course. "I'm not sure it's possible to fully express the gratitude that I have to the Packers, our incredible fans, the state of Wisconsin, the thousands of players that I crossed paths with, the incredible men and women who work for the organization, and the amazing people who I got to meet along the way. In one post with 10 pictures. But I hope you read this and feel my heart and soul, filled with love, joy, and peace about my time in green and gold. I grew up in Green Bay, drafted at 21, fell in love with the game, met some lifelong friends, and take with me memories that will last a lifetime. I'm grateful to the late Ted Thompson for drafting me, for my head coaches, especially the 13 years with Mike McCarthy and the last 4 with Matt LaFleur. He even did some rhyming there. I had some incredible men to work with in the QB room over the years, including Tom, AVP, Luke, and Connor. Huge thank you to my guys in the equipment room, Red, T-Bone, Odea, Kev, Brian. Oh, we're not done. Andy Gruber. All my dear friends in the training room over the years, Nate Flea, Doc McKenzie, Doc Gray, Pep and Cuz, the legendary Adam Corzun and his incredible staff, Dougie, Krabby, and Scotty for always looking out for me, Tom, Nate, Sarah, and Jason in PR, Evan for bringing my work life to film, The Rock, and Wayne for he thanked The Rock for giving words to the highlights of my career. Gray and Big Rob for your work with our guys over the years. Bloke, Thad, Grant, and Jizz in the weight room. Is it Giz or Jizz? I don't know. No, it's Gizz. I don't know. Bob Harlan, Russ Ball, Mark Murphy, and Brian Gutenkust for your stewardship of the organization. Everyone on the third and fourth floors who make that building run smoothly. And so many countless others at the loading dock, tours, concessions, maintenance, our field crew, etc. To the fans, thank you. You made every run out of the tunnel special, every home game magical, and it was my honor to be your QB. To my teammates, I love you all, and I'm thankful for the moments on and off the field that brought us close. I played with legends. I played with friends. Thanks for believing in me and having my back always. This is not the end for us. I will see you again, Green Bay. You'll always have my heart. Heart emoji. 12. Hashtag grateful. Hashtag 18 years. Hashtag green heart emoji. Yellow heart emoji. Aaron Rodgers, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, Giz, or whatever your name is, if we got that wrong. Speaking of getting it wrong, boy, that got out of hand quickly. Denver on top of Minnesota, 109-104. 212.5. Bye-bye. Who's there? Oh, Dave in Connecticut? Dave in Connecticut, I hope you weren't listening when I said 212.5. I don't hear Dave. Oh, there you go, Dave. Go ahead. No, I mean, we've seen guys give farewell letters. Sometimes they'll take out a full-page ad in a newspaper. Who knows if Green Bay even has a newspaper anymore? So many newspapers are going under or turning into weeklies or online only. He might have had just as much luck. Putting it on Instagram. But we see a lot of players these days do these farewell letters. So I don't have any problem with him doing that. Hell yeah. Are you kidding? Oh my God. His time in New York, if somebody were smart, they'd be figuring out a way right now to do an Aaron Rodgers reality show for his entire year in New York this upcoming season. Absolutely. This guy in New York, sign me up. Exactly. Put it on OnlyFans. We could charge that way. Oh my goodness, that's it. Minnesota is, well, they're down 2 with 3.4 left. Oh boy, got to get it inbounded. Oh, they called a timeout. Yeah, that's a loss. Denver 111, Minnesota 109. I got to go, Dave. We're up against the break. It's Dave in Connecticut checking in. He's soon to be Dave in Delaware. I don't know if I'm allowed to spill those beans, but he's moving. Dave in Delaware. Doesn't come off the same as Dave in Connecticut, does it? Clippers in Phoenix are getting closer. We'll tell you about it next. Got ourselves a finish. Minnesota down 3 with the ball, 2.2 seconds left. Can they get a miracle 3 to tie the game? Send it to overtime? Clippers lead Phoenix 84-83, 5 minutes to go, third quarter in Phoenix for our friends down there who are probably not listening to us if there's a Phoenix Suns playoff game going on. But in the event you are, we welcome that. I also got a text from our, there it is, at the buzzer, 3, rise and fire, no good, game over. It's a tough loss for Minnesota. Boy, and Anthony Edwards just ran off the floor. He did not even stay on the court. Like, he missed the shot, ran off the court, did not stay on the floor to congratulate the Denver Nuggets. That's a bad look. Man, that's a bad look. And you'd like to sit there and say, well, he's young, he'll learn from these things. But now, between the whole thing that happened last year with him and the IG video where he was seen yelling at some men that, or not yelling, but speaking badly of some men that were thought to be of the LGBTQ persuasion. And then you miss the final shot tonight and you literally run off the floor into the tunnel and don't stick around to congratulate. It's just a bad look. And that's the kind of stuff, I'm sorry, people will say I'm nitpicking. But when you see those things and you start to add up the pattern of behavior, you start to come to the conclusion Anthony Edwards just isn't mature. That he's not operating on the plane you need to operate on as a professional basketball player. When you go run off the floor after you miss the final shot and go bury your head in the locker room, it's just not a good look. And I hope some guys after the game, in the media, some of the men and women that cover the team in the media, make it a point to ask him some tough questions about, growing up a little bit. You're an NBA player now. You gotta start acting like it. So Denver's moving on. They take care of business. 1 out of 2 closeouts tonight are in the books. Celtics came up short, but the Denver Nuggets figured out a way to get a win. Oh, boy. It's getting ugly in Phoenix. We went 2 for 2 on our live bets last night. We may go, I can see it. We may go 0 for 2 tonight. This game was 70-61 at the break. Now it's 94-86, so they've outscored them 34-14, if my math is correct. Yeah. Well, see if the Clippers can get it together here, but late third quarter, it's looking really good for the Phoenix Suns to get their closeout. And tomorrow night, of course, the big one. Looking forward to the matchup in Sacramento between the Kings and the Warriors tomorrow night. Kings and the Warriors tomorrow night in Sacktown. And again, the big story today is that De'Aaron Fox will play in that game for Sacramento despite a fractured finger. I think that's probably a pretty big surprise to some. Although, when I first heard he wasn't going to play, I said, really? You could tape that thing up. Going to play despite a fractured index finger on his shooting hand. Fox took part in a non-contact practice on Tuesday, told reporters afterward, there are no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm playing. It's an avulsion fracture. He says, for me right now, it's just tolerance of the pad on my finger, making sure I can shoot the ball. As we got going, as the pain started going away, he said, I feel like I could do my normal shot. I think I'll be good. That from De'Aaron Fox. So that's where we are as far as the news on De'Aaron Fox is concerned. Said he had no problems dribbling and passing, and the biggest question was making sure he could deal with the pain and make his shot. So that's what we got. Said he felt optimistic after the swelling in the finger went down in the past day, and the pain has become manageable. I got to talk to Nick Ferguson. There's a reason there's a couple of reasons I want to talk to Nick Ferguson, but we actually talked about one of them on the show last night. So I'm going to put Nick Ferguson on. We'll punch him up on the cash-in hotline here. He says he just walked in the house. That's what Nick Ferguson tells me. He says, I just walked in the house. So we're going to punch him up because I gotta ask him a couple of things. First of all, Nick, as you're getting set up there, don't worry, nobody can see you. We can only hear you. Is this whole defection thing? And I know everybody's saying, well, they knew there were going to be some players that left the Colorado, college football program, but 18 players leaving after the spring game. Did anybody anticipate that many guys? And in particular, a few guys that were, kind of high-profile guys, granted on a 1-11 football team last year. Did anybody anticipate that many guys were leaving? By the way, Nick Ferguson, friend of the program, former NFL safety, currently hosts the Touchdown Denver podcast. All right, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I would say if they did not, then they were basically fooling themselves, and here's why. When Coach Prime was initially hired, and I was
stop! Hold on! Stop!
What?
We're not calling. We are not calling this guy Coach Prime. His name is Deion Sanders. I am not calling this dude Coach Prime.
Okay, well, you don't have to call him Coach Prime, but I'm going to call him
Coach Prime. Give me a break.
Wait. He is a coach by the position. I mean, you would say the same thing with Coach Nick Saban.
His name is not Prime. His name is not Prime. It's Deion Sanders. He's Coach Sanders.
Yeah, so when Coach Prime told everyone, hey, listen, the roster that we have right now will not be the roster we roll out against TCU. Oh, and by the way, we knew going into the spring that CU was over the allotted amount of players they can have on their roster. And I think they were over by 20. So we knew after the spring game, there were several players either by their choice or by coach's decision who would not be with the team. So basically what we're seeing, Jason, is somewhat of a version of what we would see in the NFL camp. You can't keep everyone. So you say the guys who want to be here, we're going to keep you here. And all the last Saturday, the spring game, all it was a preseason game for CU. And wait a minute. And if anyone is upset, and I've had several of my former Broncos teammates to hit me up because they know that I'm always down at Boulder, and I told them this: beggars can't be choosers. You were 1-11 last year. How do you expect to change the culture with the same guys? Can't do it.
That's fair. I don't have an issue with that. I do take issue with the idea of him trying to run this like an NFL team, though. The idea, with some of the speech and some of the public statements, as opposed to keeping some things in-house. And I had read some things that they were basically trying to nudge some of these guys out the door, basically pushing them out the door rather than letting them leave on their own.
Well, if your job is to come in and take over a 1-11 team, and Coach Prime said this, once again, I go back to this at his initial press conference, I am preparing guys for the NFL, not the NIL. And these guys are trying to get to that point. So basically, with NILs, the culture has already been created, whether we want to look at it or not. NILs are just college free agency, right? That's just a step down from the NFL based on an allotment of money that these guys can be paid. But once again, if you're trying to get guys to a certain position, why not introduce them to the culture already? And every coach that comes in, college or the NFL, whether it's coaches or players, you want your own guys. You want it.
That's Nick
Come
Ferguson.
on.
That's Nick Ferguson, host of the Touchdown Denver podcast. Also does a great job in Denver, former NFL safety. All right, since you called towards the end of the segment, I'm going to hold you over. We'll talk. Well, we only had 5 minutes. I got to talk to you about some NFL draft stuff. So Nick Ferguson's going to hang out with us for a couple of minutes. He just walked in the door at home. We'll chat with him on the other side. Top of the hour is here. Phoenix up 97-86 on the Clippers. That's not good for us. We're keeping tabs on it. The cashing continues on SportsMap Radio. I'm going to tell you right now, I can't stand Deion Sanders. of a Tuesday/Wednesday edition of the show. Well, see, I thought we were going to be guest-free tonight, and we're not. I wish he was on camera right now because he's got one of the greatest smiles you'll ever see. He's got a TV smile. He does. Nick Ferguson, our friend, the former NFL safety, former Denver Bronco, former Jet, former Texan, former Hartford Colonial, former Georgia Tech, Yellow Jacket, former everything. Current dad. How's that? Current dad and husband? Does that work?
Yeah, that absolutely works. I know you say you didn't think you were going to have a guest on, but you can't go a night without having me on, or even a week.
Well, I can't. Man. No, I can't. And I'm like I said, we're only on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week because unlike you, who will be working draft night, I will not be on the air on draft night because they're sending the guys from VSiN, Vegas Sports and Information Network, which is heard here on SportsMap Radio. They said, Jason, do you want to take Thursday and Friday off? Because we've got, the VSiN guy, Sean King, former NFL QB, who you know.
Yeah.
He's going to be there. I got to get Sean on the air. I keep forgetting. Sean's an old friend of mine from my days in Hartford, Connecticut. Oh, hold on. You got another guest who's coming on?
No, he just walked in the room just announcing his presence.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Tell him we said hello. So anyway, Sean King is going to be doing the show at night during the draft. And I said, put them on. They're going to be there in Kansas City. I can't match that coverage. And I'm about giving the audience what they need. They want the best draft coverage. If somebody else could give them that, go ahead and give them that. I'm all about that. No problem with it at all. So I'll be off on Thursday and Friday. Gives me some time to work on some things I got to deal with. And then we'll be back on Monday to analyze all the draft stuff. I was talking about this with Matt Verderam, our friend from SI, their NFL insider there. I can't ever remember a draft this unpredictable. I can't ever remember being like the night before the draft. And most people seem to think they know who's going number one, and that's fine. But after that, this thing is wide open, and you can't really predict what anybody's going to do until you understand where the first 3 or 4 picks are going.
Well, yeah, I mean, every single year we go through this whole exercise and these gymnastics, and Jason, is based on, what team is going to do what at number 1 and number 2, and it's based around one position. It's quarterback, right? So Carolina Panthers have the first pick, and apparently there was news that, hey, they already know which quarterback they're going to take. So at 2, if you're the Houston Texans, knowing as though you have a pick at 12, do you stay there because, let's just say, C.J. Stroud is taken by the Panthers? Do you love Bryce Young to take him number 2? Or you say, well, with Anthony Richardson still there and Will Levis, we're going to take our chances. We're going to collect more picks to help out D'Amico Ryans because we know we have a pick in the 12th round and swap positions, maybe with the Colts, who they need a quarterback as well. So it's going to be crazy to see what happens in this draft. And I was talking to someone today, and they have a feeling that, well, while everyone's talking about quarterbacks, well, we could see a run on interior linemen. I mean, that's offensive side of the ball and defensive side of the ball. And I said the same thing. I was just like, wow, that's going to be very interesting. But there's always 1 or 2 teams that do something or choose to do something in the draft that is highly unexpected, but I will agree with you. This is one of those drafts after maybe pick 1 that we are unsure of what's going to happen.
Wow. Spending some time with our man, Nick Ferguson, joining us here on the show. Bryce, you don't think Bryce Young's going to go number 1, huh?
Well, there is no guarantee that he's going to go number 1 because let's be totally honest, C.J. Stroud is a talent within himself. So, and then if Carolina feels as though, well, you know what? Our mind has been changed throughout the process, and we think of Richardson from Florida, it has the most upside. Yeah, he's young, but you just look at his size, and maybe Frank White may fall in love with him once again because Cam Newton was a kind of Richardson-type quarterback, and he knows having just your statuesque quarterback is not going to get it in the NFL. And you need a bigger body to do so. So who knows? If that happens, that flips the draft on its ears in the first pick.
How much of this is smoke screens? How much of this is just guys trying to, throw some different signals up there to maybe throw people off the scent? And at the end of tomorrow night, we're talking Bryce Young's the first QB off the board, Stroud's the second off the board, Levis is third, Richardson is fourth, just the way we all thought originally.
Well, that happens a lot. They call this time of year the line season, and this is the perfect time for teams to now throw out these narratives about players, hoping they would get them to drop. Because here's what we do know. There are a lot of agents who represent sports analysts and who also represent a lot of coaches. And if their coaches are on certain teams that want a certain player, the idea is to badmouth the guy a week before the draft or the day of. Remember the whole situation with Larry Tunsil, how some evidence on the day of the draft came out about him? Don't be surprised as we start to get into the draft and the commissioner walks up and say, well, hey, Carolina's on the clock, things don't start to come out about players to get them drop at a certain position so teams can select them.
How much has Jalen Carter's stock dropped in your mind?
Yeah, man, it's dropped a lot. But once again, here's the thing. There are 32 teams, right? Just because one team falls out of love with a player, that doesn't necessarily mean that another team will do the same thing. All you need is one person to love you, Jay Page. You just need one.
And it's especially if it's the guy that's writing the checks at the top of an organization.
Exactly. When I was dating, all I needed is one person to love me. And I've been married about 16 years, so my plan actually works.
Nick Ferguson joining us, giving us some time on the show tonight. Does a great job. The Touchdown Denver podcast, a whole bunch of other things as well. Give me some thought. I was thinking about this yesterday, talking about this with somebody else. The reaction you had when you saw how much the Jets gave up to get Aaron Rodgers. I don't think anybody anticipated seeing the Packers get that type of haul of draft picks for a guy that's going to be, 39 years old in December. I don't think anybody anticipated them getting that much. Do you think there was another team that got involved in this that helped drive up the price?
No, I don't think another team got involved. I mean, the idea was that he was going to go to the Jets or nowhere else. And with that being said, the Green Bay Packers, they played their cards right. They waited to a couple of days before the draft, forcing the hands of the Jets, knowing as though they put themselves in a situation. They didn't go out there and try to trade for Lamar Jackson. And there were other quarterbacks that were out there. For Pete's sake, they had, Derek Carr, right? They did an interview with him. They didn't make a move. So it was all hands on deck, push all the chips to the table, especially with Nathaniel Hackett there for Aaron Rodgers. But all this is a desperation ploy. Let's call it what it is. They're just trying to pacify their fan base and give them some hope. But here's what we know about Aaron Rodgers. He's a great regular season quarterback. When it comes to the postseason, not so much. So, yes, the Jets will probably make the postseason this year. The fans will be happy. And then Joe Douglas will be able to say, well, hey, we gave you the playoffs when we didn't give it to you before, and hope that they're happy. But we know this is just a Band-Aid on the situation to help the Jets, because how many more years do you think Aaron Rodgers actually has?
You think this is one? Do you think this is 1 year and done, or do you think he's there for more than a year?
My head initially says a one and done, but I think he may hang on for a second year. But that's kind of a long shot, and that's based on how the season goes, if they make it to the playoffs, how they lose, and how he's feeling afterwards. Because we know he is a very pretentious type of individual, and he could change his mind at a moment's notice. So, did you, Robert Saleh, Joe Douglas, did you make the best decision? But all this is kind of a desperate move to help out a desperate franchise.
Last one before I let you go. Nuggets close out the T-Wolves tonight. Did what they had to do. It wasn't pretty, but they were able to get through that series in 5 games. They get some rest while everybody else is still playing. Thoughts on the Nuggets?
Well, that's the kind of things that you want to do. We know the Nuggets can score points. Their biggest issue, and it drives Coach Malone crazy, this is why he calls them soft, is playing defense down the stretch. Now, I'm going to tip my cap to the Nuggets because Nikola Jokic played well down the stretch. But if the Minnesota Timberwolves attack things a lot different, I mean, you look at Aaron Gordon was in foul trouble. So was Nikola Jokic. But they were not attacking the basket. They were selling for three-point shots. And oh, by the way, the one thing that drove me crazy, Rudy Gobert is tall, but he is like 7 feet tall. And he's allowing Aaron Gordon to out-rebound him. And they gave up so much to acquire him for a guy who's just a defensive specialist. I mean, hey, they got to do something in Minnesota. But tip for the cap to Mike Malone and the Denver Nuggets. They get that all-important rest.
Doesn't matter. Lakers are coming out of the West anyway.
Whatever, man.
Just telling you. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Lakers are coming out of the West.
Yeah, whatever. I remember you said that.
And I'm sticking with it. Always love talking to you, my friend. Have a great night, and I'll catch up with you later about tomorrow night.
All right, man. Be good.
Nick Ferguson joining us here on the show, hanging out for a few. Clippers trying to make a run. They're within 14. We told you to take the Clippers plus 2.5. That's not looking very good right now. Come on back. More to do on the cash in at SportsMap Radio. All right. So we'll have Kurt Heelan tomorrow. Yeah, Kurt Heelan tomorrow, Jason Cole tomorrow. For sure. Huh? Okay. Babe, if you want this back. All right, if the Clippers are going to make a run, it's got to be now. They're down 14 with 9:25 to go. We got them plus 2.5. Boy, I feel like we got completely hoodwinked. They were up 9 at the half. We told everybody to go and run and take the Clippers plus 2.5. And now they're down 16 with 9 minutes to go in the game. How does this happen? Really, that's what it feels like. It absolutely feels like a pool hall hustle. Exactly. It's terrible. Well, still time left in the game. Devin Booker's looking for a 50 burger in this game. I don't know how many he's got right now. Let me see if I can find it. But let's see. Oh, my goodness. Chris Paul's making mid-range jumpers. We're just in all sorts of trouble right now. All sorts of trouble. Booker's got 41 on 17 of 24 shooting. My God. I mean, we thought that Butler's game last night was efficient with 56 on 28 shots. Booker's got 41 on 24 shots. Oh, no, he's 2 for 15? Jeez Louise. Wow. Boy, talk about him game to game, man. Game to game. 2 of 15, 1 of 5 from 3. Luckily, he's made his free throws. 12.7 rebounds, 5 assists. He's, at least he's still doing other things. Plumlee's having a nice game. I think Plumlee just went to Plumlee's going for 20. He's got 20 and 9 off the bench. Boy, he shoots some ugly looking free throws, man. He makes them, though. Guy makes them. So 120-106 Phoenix on top of the Clippers with 8:10 to go in the fourth quarter. We'll continue to keep tabs on that, see if our 2.5 backdoor cover is what we're hoping for right now. Backdoor cover. Booker just got called for a travel. Clippers will get it back. See if our Clippers. They're our Clippers now. We own them. And you're talking about I got it. We got them plus 2.5 right now. We need some miracles. I am absolutely pot committed right now. I told everybody. I screamed it from the rooftop. You practically yelled it. I told Jerry in Louisville, Texas to bet his house on it. Jerry, I hope he didn't bet the deed on it, man. Never know, though. 120-108, still a lot of time. Oh, my God. Chris Paul hitting wide open threes. Come on, man. 123-108. Oh, Nicholas Batum responds with a 3 of his own. All right. So Phoenix 123, the Clippers 111, 7:05 to go in the fourth quarter. And again, if you're just tuning in tonight, Atlanta took care of business in Boston. Trae Young, monster performance. 119-117, Atlanta beats Boston to get that to a Game 6 back in Atlanta on Thursday night. So that series is not over yet. Oh, nice play. All right, Clippers are within 10. We got a game. Clippers within 10, 6:30 to go in the fourth quarter. I like it. We got a fighting chance now. The Fighting Westbrooks have shown up. See if we can get a little backdoor cover here. Still a lot of time. Let's see. What's the live betting look like in this game? Clippers plus 12.5. Oh, it's 126-113. Clippers plus 12.5. 267.5 is the total. 267.5 is the total. Good golly, Miss Molly. That is a lot of points for an NBA playoff game. Oh, Booker's got 44. I mean, how is Devin Booker wide open when he's got 41 points on 17 of 24 shooting? How does that happen? I know you don't got your main guys and everything, but how does that happen? Just blows your mind. Really does. Phoenix up 13, 126, 113. Oh, now they put a double team on Devin Booker. You wait till he has 44, then it's time to double him up? God, it's just awful. Clippers plus 14.5 right now, trailing 128, 113. There gets to be a point, though, where if the lead gets big enough and the spread keeps going up, you've got to take the Clippers plus the points. It's a bit of a, I don't want to call it a hedge, but you figure you'll probably go 1-1 unless the Clippers just completely melt down and lose by 20 plus. At some point, you got to take the Clippers again plus 14.5, don't you? 5:36 to go in the fourth, timeout on the floor. Phoenix leads the Clippers 128-113. Or is that like just doubling down after you lose a hand? And then doubling down again. And then doubling down again until you finally get it right? Yeah, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. There's still a baseball game going on this late? I figured they were all done by now. Yeah, there's a few games still going on. Angels, there's 3 of them. Angels lead the A's 5-3 as they go to the top of the 9th in Anaheim at the Big A. Bottom of the 9th in Arizona, Kansas City leads Arizona 5-4. But 2 outs, first and third for Arizona, trailing in that game 5-4. And bottom of the 9th in San Francisco, it is the Cardinals on top of the Giants 4-3, but Cardinals on top of the Giants 4-3, but the Giants have a runner on second with 2 outs. So potentially some exciting finishes in store here in the late window for baseball. Earlier tonight, Colorado beat Cleveland 5-1. Boston dumped Baltimore 8-6. Jarren Duran with a 3-run, a grand slam in that game. Dodgers handed the Pirates a rare loss this year. That's something we don't say all that often. Dodgers win 8-7. Houston ends the Tampa Bay Rays home winning streak to start the season at 14. Tampa Bay suffers its first loss at home, 5-0. The final, 5-0. 5-0 Houston wins. Seattle got a win. Those have been rare for them this year, 5-3. Oh, we got a walk-off winner. Giants walk one off against the Cardinals 5-4. They were down 4-3 in the 9th. They get 2 to win it in the bottom of the 9th. So San Francisco pulls the rabbit out of the hat tonight. 5-4. Actually, I take that back. San Fran scores 3 in the bottom of the 9th. Trailed 4-2. They get 3 in the bottom of the 9th and win it 5-4. Highlight forthcoming. It's a good win for the Giants, who have struggled a bit this year. 10-13 right now on the season for San Francisco, and that's a bad loss for St. Louis. I mean, are there any such thing as bad losses this early in the year? I don't know about that, but certainly not the way you want to lose if you're the Cardinals. Let's see here. We'll see what's going on in some of these other games. It's gone final in Arizona. Kansas City beats Arizona 5-4. So a few more games have gone final. We are seeing, it's crazy. The baseball card market is kind of, I think it's leaking oil right now. I was talking to some people about it on Twitter today, that it used to be in the baseball card world, when Topps came out with a new product, it would sell out same day. On the website, it would all disappear same day. People would just go out, hoard it all. You'd get bots in there, and they'd just go and take everything. Right now, that's not the case. But the one thing that's still hot in the collectibles world is like memorabilia, signed baseballs, autographs. We just told you the story last week about the Babe Ruth bat that went for some insane amount of money, like $1.5 million. A pair of Michael Jordan shoes went for some stupid number recently. Wait until I tell you about a Mike Trout artifact and what it sold for and what the artifact is, it's going to blow your mind. A lot of people with too much money and a lot of time on their hands. Then again, I am sitting in front of a shelf that's got an autographed football, autographed basketball by Patrick Ewing. So maybe I'm not one to talk. 3-ball for the Clippers. They trail by 12 with 4:50 to go in the fourth. We're coming back with more of the cash in at SportsMap Radio. I want to say it was $1.5 million for an original bat of his. Babe. Who is Babe Ruth? Babe Ruth bat. $1.85 million. Ooh, another 3-ball? Are we within? Oh, we're within 9. It's a cool looking bat, too. Yeah, it's a game used bat by Babe Ruth. Well, look out behind you. Well, what happened was, oh boy, this would make it a 6-point game. Oh, 3-ball. It's a 6-point game with 3:53 to go. Woo, we are very much alive. Wow. What they were able to do was they were able to take the bat that the guy had, and they were able to match it up with photos from a certain season. And when they did like all the forensics on it, it came back as, you know, all the markings on the bat and everything, it all matched up to the photo. Yeah, it's pretty cool. 35. Dude, the bat was 35 3/4 inches. I used to hit with a 32, and that felt incredibly heavy. I can't even imagine. He was swinging a tree trunk. 35 3/4 inches bat. And 38 ounces. 38 ounces. You know how strong you have to be to swing a 38-ounce bat? It's ridiculous. How did my boy Ezekiel Tovar do tonight? Let's see. 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. That's not good. Blake Sable's walk-off 2-run home run wins it for the Giants. Their win probability was 14.2%. Another 3! It's a 3-point game! Oh, my God! Oh, this is going to be the greatest cover ever. Greatest cover ever. Huh? I told you take them plus 14.5, see? Wow, Nicholas Batum hitting some big threes. Oh, my God, Steve Ballmer's losing his mind in the front row. Yeah, Booker's at the line for 2 free throws. Oh, missed the free throw. Oh, boy, they're getting tight. They're getting tight, Brian McDonald. That's personal. Wow, things have gotten very interesting in Phoenix. What looked like it was going to be a runaway win for the Suns is anything but. Oh, boy. They're just jacking up threes now. That's not good. 129-125 Phoenix on top of the Clippers. Clippers feeling themselves a little. Just attempted a contested three. So Phoenix up 4 with 2:52 to go. Suffice it to say, our Clippers plus 2.5 is still very much in play. Hope you didn't go to bed on us. Hope you didn't go to sleep on us. We still got a shot. Shout out to our man Sam in the Upper Peninsula, by the way. We asked the last hour if Green Bay still had a daily newspaper. The Green Bay Press-Gazette is still very much in business. He just made sure to remind us and tell us. It's the paper of note in Green Bay. All right, I mentioned that the Giants walked it off against the Cardinals 5-4 tonight in San Francisco. Here's how it happened, courtesy of NBC Sports Bay Area. Take a listen.
Grass is going to score a run.
That's how it happened. CSM Bay Area had it. Giants win 5-4 in about the most dramatic fashion you could have. They So Giants were up 2-1 going to the top of the 8th. St. Louis gets 3 to make it 4-2, and then San Francisco gets 3 in the 9th and wins it. Unbelievable. All right, we got Clippers with the basketball. Oh, Westbrook, coast to coast, he missed the layup. Oh, they were down 2. And Westbrook missed the layup. Oh, that can't happen. That cannot happen. Oh, my God. And then on the other end, Booker with another bucket. Phoenix 132, Clippers 128. Wow, that is just heartbreaking stuff. Absolutely heartbreaking. 2 minutes to go in the fourth, 158 to be exact. Phoenix 132, Clippers 128. Westbrook had a wide open layup. Down 2 and he missed it. Oh my God. Russell Westbrook, you're killing me, man. You are positively killing me. Couple of free throws here for the Clippers to get it back to 2. What a wild game. David in Austin, Texas, texting the show. Listen on 104.9 The Horn. How many home runs does Aaron Judge have, he asks. I think 6, if I'm not mistaken. Aaron Judge stats. Judge, I guess so. Yeah. No, I don't think it was a setup. I don't think David would do that. 2-point game again. 150 to go. Judge is at 244, 6 home runs, 11 RBI. He's struggling. Listen, this entire Yankee lineup is, ever since Stanton went out, honestly. Yeah, it's going to be a while. Chris Paul for 3. No good. Here we go again. Clippers with the ball down 2. Oh, and the ball's in Westbrook's hands with Kevin Durant on him. Oh, my God, this is great. This is so awesome. What an awesome game. Batum misses a 3. So it's Phoenix ball. Oh, they throw it away. Phoenix throws it away on a fast break. They had a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-1. Phoenix 132, the Clippers 130, 110 to go in the fourth. What a crazy finish to this basketball game. I mean, who could possibly have imagined the Clippers with missing everything they're missing? And you know what? Give that team some credit. That is some heart and some fight for a team that's missing their 2 biggest stars to still be playing this hard, to still be in this game. Boy, they just turned it over again, though. Yep. Durant lay in. 130 Phoenix, 58.8 seconds left. I mean, the Clippers have had some dreadful possessions in the final 2 minutes of this game. Yeah, I think that was Powell. No, it's not even. Yeah, it was Powell. But I mean, look, who's taking the big shot right now for that team? That's the problem when you get to this point of the game and you're literally missing your two biggest shot makers. And, you're forced to have Russell Westbrook be your shot maker or guy setting it up. And it's a complete crapshoot with Russell Westbrook at this stage of his career as to, whether or not he's going to be able to produce in this moment. And this is what you get. Like I said, it's got to be, I can't even imagine how frustrating this is to watch if you're a Clippers fan. And this has to be so frustrating. All right. I said I had a story about memorabilia I wanted to get to. While we're in a timeout in this game, let me get to it. I've told you, memorabilia is still the big thing. I think baseball cards are hurting right now, which pains me because I'm literally sitting next to a shelf that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 15 gigantic boxes of cards from the last 3 years alone. So it pains me to say that I feel like the card industry is in some trouble right now. But memorabilia, especially older stuff, the money is just off the chain right now. We were talking about the Babe Ruth bat that sold for, I think I said, $1.85 million. This Babe Ruth bat sold for, I want to say last week. Well, a Mike Trout autographed baseball. Not just any. Oh, my God, they threw it away again. I mean, the Clippers are just killing me right now. A Mike Trout. What Russell Westbrook just threw one into the third row. A Mike Trout autographed baseball has sold for $15,000. But it's not just any Mike Trout baseball. It is a Mike Trout baseball from when he was 12 years old that he autographed. That sold for $15,000. So you're not even getting today's Mike Trout autograph. This is 12-year-old Mike Trout's autograph. He autographed the ball after hitting a Little League home run. His uncle had kept it for 2 decades. Sold for $15,600 on Sunday. This is an incredible relic from the earliest days of Mike Trout's legendary career, Robert Edward Auctions President Brian Dwyer said. It's like having one of Picasso's earliest sketches. Really? That's pushing it a little bit, isn't it? Really? No, it's not. This baseball is part of Trout's origin story. Really? Now we're talking about origin stories. And is a one-of-a-kind piece of memorabilia for any Trout collector or superfan. He was 12 years old. It's so bad. It's just so bad. Westbrook misses a 3, and we're going to lose this bet. Oh, man. I mean, the Clippers had... All right, fine. The Clippers had so many opportunities. Down 2 multiple times in the final 2.5 or 3 minutes, and they just couldn't get over the hump. And Westbrook had a good look at a layup that would have tied the game at one point. That's such a bad loss. That's such a bad loss. 0 for 2 tonight. Let the text messages start rolling in now. Oh, I hope not. I hope not. God, I'd be crushed. I hope people kind of took... Well, I said when they were down 14, when they were down 15, and I said take them plus 14.5. I didn't make it an official pick, but I was kind of nudging people to do it because, I mean, this is why they wound up coming back. But so 2 of the 3 closeouts tonight are indeed closed out. We've got the Suns in 5, Nuggets in 5. Will we get more closeouts tomorrow? We got a chance. Knicks, Cavs, Lakers, Grizz, Heat, Bucks could all be over tomorrow. We'll tell you the lines on those games, what I'm thinking, as if it matters. Next on the Cash-In, SportsMap Radio. Why were you laughing? It's so bad. So bad. I like David and Austin asking us to do the research. What Booker finish with? Could have done a promo. The other one I was thinking about was when we were talking about war. Nothing sexier than talking about that. Yeah. War. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again. Booker finished with 47. 19 of 27. 10 assists, 8 rebounds. 6th career 40-point playoff game. Wow, he's 6'5", 206. 6'5", 206. Wow. Closing time. Every new beginning comes from some other beginnings and time to put the wraps on a Tuesday edition of the show. Whereas tonight we only had one guest and lighter show than usual. Tomorrow, our final show of the week for the cash-in. We'll be off on Thursday and Friday. NFL draft coverage takes over courtesy of the folks over at VSiN. But tomorrow night on the show, we'll be joined by Jason Cole of Outkick.com. Does a great job on the NFL. We'll get his pre-draft thoughts. Kurt Heelan will also be on the show. So looking forward to talking with him and getting his thoughts on this NBA postseason. And again, tomorrow you've got 3 potential closeout games again. 2 of the series got closed out tonight. You have the potential for 3 different series to get closed out tomorrow. Knicks Cavaliers is the first game of the night, 7 p.m. Eastern. For that game, it is Cleveland minus 5.5. Not a lot of faith in the Knicks. And boy, that's a lot of faith to put in a Cavaliers team that I think has scored, about 175 points over the last 2 games? I mean, wow. The Knicks have clamped that thing down in a big way. Lakers Grizzlies is the 7:30 p.m. Eastern game. So you'll have the Knicks Cavaliers and Lakers Grizzlies basically on at the same time. That game gets started 7:30 p.m. Eastern. It is the Grizzlies -4, Lakers +4. That's probably a fair line. A lot of people think the Grizzlies will get that series back to L.A. for Game 6. Lakers +152 on the money line for that game. 222 is the total. By the way, on that Knicks game, talk about defense being prevalent. Knicks Cavaliers tomorrow, the total is 202.5. There ain't a lot of fit. First team to 100 wins, basically, is what they're telling you. Heat and Bucks back in Milwaukee, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. I'll tell you, this scheduling by the NBA is just so dumb. You've got 4 games on tomorrow, and basically you're going to have to choose to watch 2 games. And then you'll catch the end of the other 2 because of the way the NBA has scheduled this. They got a 7 p.m. game, a 7:30 p.m. game, 9:30 p.m. game, and a 10 p.m. game. So the best game of the night, the most, contentious of all these series, Warriors-Kings, it'll be over at 1 a.m. It'll be a 1 a.m. finish to that game. Nobody's going to see the end of it. And I get the fact that they're on the West Coast. I live on the West Coast, so nobody gets it more than me. But 10 p.m. Eastern? I mean, if you're a fan of NBA basketball on the East Coast, you're out of luck. You're not getting to see it. That's all there is to it. It's just NBA. Some of these leagues just succeed in spite of themselves sometimes. It absolutely amazes me. So those are the games going on tomorrow in the NBA. We'll see if we get 2, maybe 3 more closeouts. Boy, it'd be great if the Knicks could close out the Cavs, that's for sure. Then you get the Knicks in the next round. The Knicks get in the next round. They'd get the winner of the... Do they... Now, you know what? I actually don't know the answer to this. Brian, I'm going to ask a stupid question that I do not know the answer to. You ready? They don't reseed, do they, in the NBA? Okay. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. So the Knicks will get the winner of that Heat-Bucks series. Because if they reseeded, then you'd have Knicks Celtics in the next round. No, I'm right now. I am not a fan of the reseed. It's because I want the Heat so bad. I mean, it's setting up perfectly for the Knicks. There's just no getting around it. And could you imagine, by the way, if the Warriors? Anybody knows. I'm no fan of the Warriors. I'm not a hater of the Warriors, but I'm not a fan of the Warriors. Could you imagine if you get a Warriors-Lakers conference semifinal? Whew, man, sign me up for that. It's a great travel series if you work in the media, by the way. You don't have to deal with any of that. So NHL tomorrow. Panthers Bruins, there's no line available for. Kraken Avalanche, no line available for. By the way, Kraken got a overtime win last night over the Avalanche, their first home playoff win. That series is tied at 2 games apiece going back to Denver for Game 5. Tampa Bay and Toronto are not until Thursday, as are the Rangers and the Devils. By the way, Rangers were up 2-0 in that series. Devils have done a hell of a job to get themselves back into that series now. Tied at 2 games apiece. Going back to New Jersey, where the Devils outscored the Rangers 10-2 in the first 2 games of that series. Let me finish the lines here. Heat plus 11.5 tomorrow in Milwaukee. I mean, this is why some of this stuff, you got to just turn your head, kind of like my dog tilts his head at me when I say, you want to go out? He just kind of gives me a funny look. The Heat are up 3-1 on the Milwaukee Bucks. This is why betting is just a different world. The Heat are up 3-1 on the Milwaukee Bucks, looking to close out the series tomorrow, and they're an 11.5 point underdog. I don't know. It feels like a sucker bet. It feels like they're trying to draw you in, but how do you not take the Heat up 11.5? They got beaten 1 game of this series, and it was Game 2 in Milwaukee. Game 1 in Milwaukee, they were dominating that game before Giannis even got hurt. I mean, how do you not take? I don't know. If you force me to take a team, I'm taking Miami. I'm not giving up 11.5 points. Because there's 2 ways Miami wins that game. Backdoor cover, or they just win outright. It's a close game. You don't get a ton of blowouts. Even tonight, that Suns-Clippers game looked like it was going to be a runaway. It wound up a 6-point game. It was a 2-point game for most of the final 2 minutes. You're just not going to see a ton of blowouts. I would love to go through all the playoff numbers. We only got about 3 minutes left in the show. But I'd be curious, how many games have been decided by 10 or more points in this postseason so far? Not a lot. You don't get a lot. You don't get a lot of those games. Now, let me see here. See if I can look back through, go last week. So Saturday, that was a 20, well, maybe not. 20.2 out of 4, 3 out of 5. Well, I mean, you do have some, maybe half. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot. The first week of the postseason had a lot of blowout games. At least blowout scores. Some of them might have pulled away late, that sort of thing. But there were a lot of games decided by more than 10 points in the first week of the postseason. God, the Knicks outscored Cleveland 99-79 in Game 3. It's remarkable just how efficient that Knicks defense has been and how it has stymied Donovan Mitchell in that series. I mean, just shut him down. I think the Knicks close it out tomorrow, but we'll see. See if the Cavaliers can keep it alive for one more day. All right, as I said, tomorrow we'll have some football talk with Jason Cole from Outkick.com. Kurt Heelan will drop by the show from NBC Sports. From their pro basketball talk, get some thoughts with him. Who knows? We might have some other surprises for our final show of the week. Again, draft coverage kicks in on Thursday and Friday, courtesy of VSiN here on SportsMap Radio. So I will be off on those 2 days, but I will never be far from social media. You could always hit me up on Twitter at The Back Page, TikTok, The Jason Page. We did a live video there today. If you want to follow us on TikTok, we're going to be continuing to add some content there. Nice job, Brian McDonald, producing it tonight. We'll see you next week, hopefully, my friend. I'm gonna go play my my Star Wars game now. What's the name of the Star Wars game I'm playing again? What's it called? Fallen Order. That's the one I'm playing. Survivor is Thursday. Okay. Yeah, I'll get back to going and playing that. It's going to do it for us tonight. We'll catch you back here tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. The Cash In on SportsMap Radio. Bye! Have a good night. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Oh, cool. Send it to me when you're done. If you get it to me tonight, send it to me. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye. Bye. Who's so handsome? Who's so handsome? Who's the handsome dog? That does it for us on the video side as well. Thanks for watching if you were on there tonight. I'll catch you all back here on Wednesday night. I gotta say, I like our new set. Looks pretty good. We're not using the good camera yet. We're just kind of messing around with the older camera right now, but good stuff. All right, thank you for watching. I'll see you all back here tomorrow. Final show of the week. Have yourselves a great night. Stay safe. See you later.